The harmony of art and business in the music industry. The path to a musical life is one that many attempt to find. Such an aspiration can seem daunting and at times unachievable. Being able to express oneself artistically while finding financial success in the business has been a challenge for artists since the creation of the music industry. The key to attain this musical life is balance. Finding a balance between artistic fulfillment and business success is the path to a lucrative and satisfying life in music. Ahead lie the first 8 steps to finding harmony between financial success and artistic fulfillment for the aspiring musician. To find this balance, one needs 2 things: an understanding of who he or she is as an artist, and an understanding of the interlocking facets of the music industry. Understanding one of these parts without the other is only half of the big picture. Finding out who oneself is as an artist is the key to figuring out where one can fit in the music industry. This is not a simple endeavor. This requires great soul-searching and diligent work. The truth is that many artists never quite feel ready to put their art out to the world. The idea that they have not reached their full potential haunts them, and in turn hinders their abilities, confidence, and willpower. But with this manual, my goal is to inspire and educate the aspiring musician through an 8-step process on how to find success in the paradoxical venture of art and business. Step 1. Develop the sound. Honing one's craft is an ongoing journey for an artist. As a musician, it is crucial to be diligent in practice. Being able to perform well consistently is a critical component to the future professional musician. When someone pays their hard-earned money to see a musician perform live, they expect the best out of them. A musician must continually develop and improve their craft in order to grow. Emulating idols while advancing one's technical abilities should be a perpetual effort. Beyond the acquisition of technical abilities comes the more difficult part. One must find a sound or a voice that reflects who they are as an artist. Artists can find their unique voice in many ways. They can find a story to tell, a feeling to portray, a cause to advocate, or an emotion to incite. These examples can interchange from a song to song or an album to album basis, but one's feeling in the moment can help get the ball rolling when creating original material. The next step is to write, and then write some more. Building up a catalog of song ideas is an invaluable asset. One must make sure to save all of these ideas and understand that no idea is without merit when the goal is to express oneself. Throughout the process of developing a sound, it is important to continually examine and deconstruct the music that the aspiring songwriter reveres. This will not only serve as inspiration and wisdom, but as a path to reach a similar demographic. Considering the particular audience of a favorite band or artist can give a young musician an idea of what their potential fans might be like, and, most importantly, how to reach them on a musical level. Developing a unique sound that one can feel artistically proud of can be strenuous. However, if one puts in the hard work to continue to develop their musicianship and songwriting abilities, there will be moments where one's voice will shine through in a seemingly effortless way. Step 2, develop the brand. Branding is a blend between the artistic and business side of music. It can be both fun and agonizing at the same time, but its importance cannot be overstated. A brand is what people think of when they hear the name. It exists in their minds. Branding includes all physical and digital forms of both merchandise and media. It represents the artist or band visually and can portray a feeling or idea. When creating and implementing a brand, one must take close attention to detail and maintain consistency. Brands can evolve over time, although in the early stages of a career, consistency is imperative. Once a band has their name, the next step is to create a logo. And a logo can be a unique design that may or may not portray the band name literally, or it can simply be the text of the band name in a unique and recognizable font. If one decides to go with just a font, they should make sure not only to use a unique font, but avoid cliche and heavily used ones. Uniqueness is such an advantage. To find inspiration for a logo, one should compile examples of logos of bands and businesses that they admire. This logo should be used on all media and merchandise to create brand recognition. Once this brand has been created, it now can be implemented. It is now time to get the ball rolling on social media creation. Covering all bases in regards to social media is key. The most important social media platforms to create early on include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Bandcamp. According to Forbes, social media can increase brand recognition, improve brand loyalty, increase conversion rates, increase inbound traffic, and provide improved customer or fan insights. These are advantageous benefits that social media can provide. Although this step may seem early for a young band, it is important to have places to direct potential fans. Social media is also important for when a young band begins booking their first shows. It adds legitimacy to the aspiring performer. With a brand in place, one already has an edge. However, before one books their first show, one must combine their music and artistic vision with live performance. Step 3. Develop the performance. The live show is the bread and butter of a working musician. It not only can be an economical driver behind an artist, but can also be one of the best ways to make a lasting connection with potential fans. It is the best vehicle to push one's music on a grassroots level. It can be a grind, though, like many aspects of the industry, there are inevitable highs and lows. To find lasting success in the world of performance, the fundamental aspects to strive for consist of quality, sincerity, and consistency. If one can maintain these attributes on a show-to-show basis, a band or solo artist can be well equipped to capture an audience while also making a profit. The importance of live performance cannot be understated. For a working musician, it is an essential part of the overall income one can achieve. According to the Future of Music Coalition's Artist Revenue Streams data portal, which surveyed over 4,000 working musicians from across the country, live performance accounts for 27% of the average musician's income. Though it is important to note that a large percentage of the sample size consists of music teachers and working classical musicians. So in the rock genre, live performance accounts for 47% of an artist's income. For a young band, revenue can also be dependent on their specific local scene. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, states such as California, New York, Nevada, and Massachusetts have a much higher median hourly wage for musicians than other states such as Michigan, Montana, and North Carolina. With an understanding of the financial implications of live performance, a band or solo artist needs to develop a show that consistently stands out and captures the attention of the audience. Throughout the history of music, showmanship has always been held to the highest regard. It not only complements music, but enhances it. The most well-known acts in all genres use their performance to reflect the mood of their music in order to evoke a reaction from their audience. They did this both physically and verbally. The best performers are able to incite both emotional and physical feelings in an audience. They truly entertain, and in turn will be remembered. The end game of any performance is to make a sincere connection with an audience with the hope that they will return next time. This is rarely a skill that comes naturally, though the best do seem to make it seem that way. To begin working on performance, it is important to study what one's idols do on stage. Compiling a list of favorite performers and specific performances that were both memorable and moving is a good place to start. Studying the performances of the performers one reveres should be an ongoing effort. This list can be an invaluable source of ideas and inspiration for the young performer. Constantly pushing outside of a comfort zone is the path to improvement. This, followed by hours upon hours of rehearsal, can lead to an effective performance on a consistent basis. If one can acquire the talent and requisite skills to be able to give a great performance, the benefits in both a business and musical sense can be exponential. Step 4. Book a show, perform, and evaluate. With an artistic vision in mind, a brand in place, and a live show ready to go, the aspiring band or solo artist is now ready to show the world what they've got. By world, this most likely means a local bar or club. At a grassroots level, the size of the venue doesn't matter. It can be a bar, club, restaurant, house party, or even a talent show. What matters is getting the band's feet wet in the world of music performance. Although, before beginning to submit for shows, one needs to create an electronic press kit, also known as an EPK, which is essentially a band's resume. It consists of a biography, video performances, notable shows played, press clippings, photos, and recorded music. An artist's EPK will evolve over time, and it is imperative to keep it updated. Websites like Sonic Bids and Reverb Nation provide useful templates for EPKs at modest prices. After the EPK has been created, it is time to compile a list of venues that have live music. It is important to keep style of music and target demographic in mind when creating this list. Through the process of elimination, one should decide on a few venues to send the EPK. It can also be beneficial to go into the venue and give a physical copy of the press kit to the booking agent. If and when the artist is contacted by a venue for a show opportunity, it is vital to maintain a professional presentation in both verbal and written communication. One must respond promptly and decisively. It is important to note that many original-based shows are unpaid or have some sort of door split that doesn't equate to much revenue at all. This is a part of the grind of the local original scene. In the beginning, getting one's foot in the door can lead to more lucrative opportunities. The low pay is unfortunately a sacrifice that most original artists must endure. But once the show is booked, it is time to get the word out. Promoting on social media, telling close friends and family, and putting up flyers and handbills around town is the best thing one can do for their first show. On the day of the show, the artist must make sure to arrive on time for load-in. The artist must maintain a professional attitude and conduct themselves in a polite and attentive manner throughout the entire show. Once the actual show begins, the band or solo artist will simply do what they have been preparing for. And of course, after the show, the artist should gauge the show's success on many levels, finding ways to improve audience interaction, performance execution, promotional efficiency, and the overall worth of the gig is a practice that should be implemented after each and every show. Step 5. Record the music. With several shows under the new artist's belt, it is now time to record the material. Even for a young band or solo artist, the cost of entry into the realm of recording is at an all-time low. Artists are able to make high-quality recordings at their home studios with affordable digital audio workstations, or DAWs as they're known, such as Pro Tools, which is the industry standard, Logic, Reason, Ableton Live, and even free programs like Audacity and GarageBand. With a decent condenser microphone and some studio headphones, artists and bands can record demos or even professional quality music on their own. It's an exciting time for the young songwriter. Having one's own recording equipment is an invaluable asset. However, the young artist may not have access to these resources. If this is the case, it is time to reach outside of the band to find either a professional recording studio, which can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per day, or find a young producer who has a home studio. What matters most is that one needs to find a quality of sound that puts their music in the best light. This can be a constant struggle for an artist. It is important not to bend on one's artistic vision of what the music should sound like. However, financial restrictions can often result in unfortunate sacrifices. If money needs to be raised, crowdfunding campaigns have been an extremely lucrative way for artists to raise money for their recording costs and record reproduction. Websites like Kickstarter, Pledge Music, Indiegogo, and many others provide platforms from which artists can raise money from family, friends, and fans to fund their musical projects. Once a studio has been decided upon and financial needs have been met, it is now time for the artist to get in the studio and start tracking. In addition to live performance, the studio session is where an artist can truly find catharsis in their work. Although it can be difficult to capture the essence of one's art, the process can be truly rewarding. Once the recording has been tracked, mixed, and mastered, the artist can make homemade physical CDs or get a small run of CDs created by a company such as Disc Makers or CD Baby. While creating these physical copies, the artist must keep in mind their branding plan. Step 6. Protect the music. When the art has been made, it is time for the artist to be proactive in order to protect it. Registering the sound recording and composition with the U.S. Copyright Office is an absolute necessity. It establishes a public record of the artist's ownership of the work and enables copyright holders to sue infringers in federal court. It also grants the copyright owner 6 exclusive rights. These rights include the right to reproduce copies, the right to make derivative works, the right to distribute or sell the work, the right to perform the work publicly, the right to display the work, and the right to have the work performed over digital audio transmission. Understanding the importance of copyright is paramount. John Kellogg, who is a music business attorney and teacher at Berklee College of Music, has stated that the copyright is the most valuable asset in the music industry. For every song, there are actually 2 copyrights, one being the composition, which is the melody, the lyrics, the arrangement, the chord progression, and the other being the actual sound recording. Both of these copyrights can be registered on the same application if all owners of both copyrights are the same. Fortunately, copyrighting one's music can be both easy and inexpensive, if done properly. The young artist must make sure to keep detailed records throughout this process to ensure the copyright is correct and can be easily found. If one is unsure about how the ownership should be split between bandmates, session players, or producers, a split sheet should be created in advance of registering the copyright. A split sheet is a simple document that outlines the percentage of ownership between creators of the work. This is also important for the next step an artist should take in ensuring payment from the ownership of these copyrights. Step 7. Get paid. Performing rights organizations, or PROs, are organizations that keep track of how many times a song is played on radio stations, television networks, and in live music venues. Through complicated algorithms, the PROs collect payments from these businesses and distribute royalties to their artists. There are actually 3 United States-based PROs, including BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. Regardless of which is used, the royalty rates are the same because they are dictated by the government. Registering with a PRO is easy, free for songwriters, and guarantees that if one's music is being played on radio, TV, or in live music venues, the owner of the composition copyright will be paid performance royalties accordingly. An artist can only join one PRO. And similar to a PRO, Sound Exchange collects online royalties from non-interactive streaming, which includes sites like Pandora, where listeners do not choose what song they're listening to. There are performance royalties to be made, and this revenue stream for artists should be exploited. The next step to getting paid for recorded music is to sign up with a digital distributor. These sites distribute music to music platforms such as iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, and many others. Some of these digital distribution sites include TuneCore and CD Baby. There are advantages and disadvantages to both in regards to cost and ease of use. Digital distribution can also collect mechanical streaming royalties. There are a lot of bases to cover in this regard, but any artist attempting to make a decent living being a creator of music should exploit all revenue streams to their fullest potential. There is some overhead cost here, but are minuscule to potential earnings. Step 8. Create a business plan. Now that there is an artistic vision, a brand in place, a live show developed, music recorded, copyright submitted, and the music has been made digitally available, it is time to develop a cohesive business plan. And a business plan is an ever-evolving document and is a tool that every business needs in order to plan, execute, and gauge progress. Before writing a business plan, one needs to decide what kind of business entity the band or solo artist would like to be. These choices include sole proprietorship, partnership, or limited liability corporation, also known as an LLC. Becoming a business can be beneficial for tax purposes and legitimizes the band as a business in the eyes of the government and in potential employees. When beginning to create the tangible business plan, one should identify their short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. This can provide a template to help provide structure to the document. Then the artist should decide what their overall vision as a business is and summarize that vision in a coherent way. The document should then outline the target market or demographic. Then one must analyze the competition that is attempting to reach that same market. Competitive analysis can help determine the strengths and weaknesses of competitors in a given market. In turn, it can help reveal unique advantages that one's own business can exploit. And now that there is structure to the business plan, it is now time to fill in the rest of the document, including a marketing plan. This part of the business plan is crucial to the success of the artist. In order for the music to be heard, it needs a vehicle beyond just live performance. The marketing plan sets up the framework for how the band or solo artist is going to engage and broaden their audience on a consistent basis through social media and other forms of media. Once the business plan and marketing plan has been written, it must be implemented immediately. This is a living document that will inevitably change and adapt over time. But in order for the business plan to be successful, it needs to be referenced, reviewed, and revised throughout the artist's career. In conclusion, when the harmony between art and business is found, the balance can lead to a successful and fulfilling career, both artistically and financially. These first steps will help solidify oneself as both an artist and a business professional. Consistency and diligence in both artistic and business development are the vital attributes necessary for the continued prosperity in the music industry.